Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Nick Bradshaw. I'm the CEO of AI Media in Cape Town, South Africa. And it's great to be joining you today to talk about AI in Africa, a growing market, trends and access. And I just want to thank the organizers for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to talk at your second summit here in Pakistan. Just give you a quick update on who AI Media is. AI Media is a hybrid consulting, media and events organization. So we are very much focused around fostering international trade. And we do that through helping organizations understand the market here. We're community driven. We provide industry analysis. And we also run AI Expo Africa and produce Synapse Magazine, and also run a streaming channel called AI TV. And we're really focused around the fourth industrial revolution in the Africa region, and artificial intelligence obviously forms a very big part of that. Our vision is to build the largest B2B and B2G trade and innovation focused AI community in Africa. And we've been working on that now for the last 3 years. We focus on 6 key topics: connecting you to the market, connecting you to customers, connecting you to partners. We also share knowledge and foster innovation within our community. We like to provide education opportunities for our members, and we provide support to organizations, trade bodies and governments that are wanting to better understand the landscape here, as well as the final point, connect you to business opportunities or investment opportunities. In terms of the African AI landscape, it's much bigger and probably active than most people realize. This is just a snapshot of some of the community members that we have and work with. It's a broad mix of business, NGOs, universities, startup communities, incubators, accelerators, and investors. Not all of them are based in Africa. We actually work with international community partners like the ITU. The World Economic Forum is someone that we also regularly touch base with, as well as the trade bodies that exist and are interested in this region, which also includes obviously things like the embassy and consular organizations of each country. So let's look at the Africa market in a little bit more detail. We conduct a live buyer survey, which we've been looking at what's in demand in the region by broadly the enterprise or government buyer. So what do these organizations want in this region, and what are they willing to invest in over the next 1 to 2 years? Well, the number one thing that they're interested in is big data analytics and insights. Obviously, data forms the underpinning foundation for artificial intelligence, data-driven systems. And so that's the biggest thing that's in demand. If we then look at some of the other sort of top 3 or 4 demand areas in these categories, we're also then looking at robotic process automation, things that can also then augment that in terms of things like dynamic pricing, personalization. That's a big area of demand. Chatbots and conversational technologies, obviously leveraging things like natural language processing, natural language understanding, natural language generation. That's also a big topic here. There's quite a bit of research that's also going on in the language space. And then we look at more bespoke point solutions. So machine learning, deep learning point solutions, they may not necessarily be products which are bought off the shelf, but for organizations that can help a client create those solutions, they're obviously in demand as well. Obviously, some of the other things that go with this are cloud deployments, cloud technologies, service providers that are working with obviously existing cloud and private cloud providers. Within that demand analysis that we've done, we also have a big understanding about the current dynamic in the Africa market, what's actually happening with things like procurement life cycles, the impact of COVID, where they are in their deployment life cycle, and also maturity. So to get a handle on how long it takes to go from a pilot to a purchase order, for example. Those are the kinds of metrics that we actually understand quite well in this region. If we then look at investment, there's a lot of investment activity on the continent. I've just done a breakdown here of investment in Africa for deals over $1 million US for last year. This is some information that's publicly available. As you can see, in terms of investment, Nigeria is actually the #1 hotspot for tech investment broadly into fintech is the biggest category. We're then looking at countries like Egypt, South Africa, and Kenya in sort of close second and third place, followed by countries like Ghana, Uganda, Mauritius, etc. So broadly speaking, a very vibrant tech landscape, fintech leading the way, but artificial intelligence is a growing category of product, and obviously it's cross-cutting. So anybody in your region that's looking to invest or focus on these technology segments, these are the hot topics and hot sectors that you can focus on. Also, for investors looking to break into this market or look at this market in more detail, broadly speaking, the Africa market is seen as a patient capital or risk-adverse capital landscape. And that actually means that at the early stage end of the spectrum, there's some very interesting niche opportunities emerging, particularly with IP emerging from universities or early stage companies that are looking for traditionally angel investment or private investment to get them to market and get their products built. So again, I think that's a very interesting niche opportunity for anyone that's interested in investing in the region. If we then move on to skills and skills that are in demand, clearly again, if there are organizations at the conference today that are looking at Africa as a destination to provide niche skills, particularly in cloud computing, artificial intelligence, data-driven decision-making, data science, there is significant demand across the continent. This is some analysis from LinkedIn from earlier last year. If you're looking at in North Africa, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt have very strong and emerging 4IR skills demand. Then looking at West Africa like Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon. On the East Coast, obviously, we've got Kenya. And then obviously Southern Africa, we've got South Africa. But essentially, those three skills areas are in significant demand. So it might be that there could be an outsourcing opportunity there to your region. It might be that there are companies that want to provide services in these areas, or even potential emigration of in-demand skills from your region to the Africa continent. In terms of those categories, are also the fastest growing, which is obviously a very positive thing. And broadly, this information that I'm showing at the moment is for South Africa, but I'd imagine it's also a continental trend as well. If we drive down into looking at South Africa in a bit more detail, a lot of those skills are in demand in the Johannesburg region. Obviously, that is where many of the large companies have their headquarters, such as the banks, some of the insurance companies, some of the large infrastructure, and obviously you've got government there as well. So that's very interesting dynamic in terms of where there is demand for these skills. But I think also for some of the skills at the top of the pyramid, there is a sort of small but steady brain drain, and those skills need to be replaced. So it's quite interesting to look at, for every job that's created in South Africa in this space, as an example, 2.4 people of that similar level are leaving the country. So this is actually opening up opportunities for highly skilled people to fill that gap. And we can actually see a net from countries like India, we can actually see a net positive inward flow of skilled people to obviously start filling some of these jobs which are in demand. If we look at things at the national level, Kenya was the first country to publish its national strategy for artificial intelligence. Mauritius has also started to publish information on its national strategy. South Africa is in the process of doing that. So there are several countries now which are becoming more amenable to seeing artificial intelligence as a strategic enabler to their country and growth prospects. And the Oxford Insights Global Readiness Index is something I strongly recommend people have a look at. If you want to look at the national strategy for Kenya, which has a very mature approach to AI and blockchain, you can look at their strategy, publicly available on their website. It was published in middle of 2019, but it's definitely a good read to give you a feel of what they're focusing on. So what's a way in which you can access this market? Well, as I mentioned before, we run AI Expo Africa, which is a trade show which launched in 2018. We've grown over the last 3 years to a community of just over 4,000 members that are interested in buying or supplying these technologies. We had over 2,400 registered delegates at our show this year, which was actually an online show, and it'll be an online show in 2021 as well. We had over 500 companies attending, and we had 160 odd sponsors and speakers. So essentially, it's a great place to come if you're looking to showcase your technology, look for distribution partners, or promote your services and develop new relationships in the African continent. In terms of value that people get from our community, it is highly rated. About 50% of the community are managerial, departmental head, or CXO level members. But we also have a strong engineering membership and academic and government membership as well within the community. As I mentioned, 2021 will be an online trade show, which will be making it very easy for countries to join us that are outside of the region, and we can very happily work with your trade, industry and government embassy to put together a trade delegation from Pakistan to join us at the show next year. Just to wrap up, we also run Africa's only streaming channel. This is a great place for you to go and learn from local, regional, and also some global thought leaders who are interested in the Africa region. What are they saying? What are the success stories? What is the dialogue that we're actually discussing in our region? And I can recommend that you look at AI TV. It's on YouTube. And we publish all our interviews on that channel. And then finally, we also run Synapse Magazine. It's a free to read, free to contribute to digital trade publication. It's on the Issue platform, and it comes out every quarter. And essentially, you can submit stories to us. We promote innovation, research, trade, new product releases. You can advertise in the magazine as well. But essentially, our readership is born out of the interest in the region, and I can strongly recommend that if you do want to read any of those articles, just go to the Issue platform, search for Synapse Magazine, and you'll be able to dive in and read about those articles. So I just want to wrap up and say thank you very much for the opportunity to give me this platform at your event, and I hope you found this a useful starting point in understanding the African AI opportunity. Thank you very much.